And it's Monday morning. You know what that means.
Dun,
Kathy
dun, dun,
Holman.
dun. Oh, no, wait. It should be happy music.
Happy
Yay!
music. Yay! Kathy Holman, Prairie Wife in Heels, joins us. And we're gonna get a little more lighthearted, I think, than we did last week.
Yeah.
We were talking about lying last week. You missed that, Roger.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a good one, but you can find it, of course, on our website, k2radio.com, and
I
our
just
Facebook
lied
page.
to you, so
Yeah.
probably just as well.
So we want to talk about holiday traditions today, and we've asked people what their specific holiday traditions are. And I don't know, you want to hear a couple of mine?
Yeah.
So
let's start out with that.
We go to church on Christmas Eve. You know, we open a couple presents on Christmas Eve.
Okay, so you do the preemptive Christmas.
Some of them, yes, but we save the big presents for Christmas morning, and the Santa presents, of course, and our Christmas stockings. And then I make a traditional Swedish tea ring for breakfast.
Oh.
And we have tea
What's
ring.
that? I'm sorry. I need you to educate me.
It's like a big round pastry. I'll send you a picture.
Oh.
Right? And so we have that, and scrambled eggs and orange juice, and then we lay around to watch Christmas movies and, you know, hang out for the day. And usually we have a Christmas Day dinner. Which
That's what I was going to ask, is if you guys do like the big dinner, the big meal.
Prime rib.
Mom
Mom makes the prime rib.
My husband's going to be going there instead of.
And we
That'll
also
work.
have a couple of ornament traditions. We do, part of my family is from a German and Austrian background, so we do the German pickle ornament.
Okay,
where it's
this
a-
I
it's
do
a-
not know
It's
either.
a glass pickle that you hide somewhere in the tree, and whoever finds the ornament gets a special gift.
I did not know this
So
tradition.
there you go.
Oh, and I'm German even, and I had never
German
heard of that.
Pickle tradition?
It's a pickle, yes. You
Hide
look
the
it up.
pickle.
I am not making this up. Now stop.
Sorry.
Stop it, Kathy.
Roger, what are some of your traditions?
Found the pickle, yeah. Or you're just happy to see me. One or the other. I don't know.
See, he took it a step further than me.
oh,
I
of
let people
course.
use their imaginations.
Oh, I heard your discussion about hiding the flashlight, and that was the first thing I thought
Yeah,
of.
okay.
Anyway,
Roger, family-friendly traditions for
Really?
Christmas. What do you do? What do you guys do?
You know, I've been. You guys have been talking. I've been trying to come up with some. We do the one present the night before. We do that, and although there was no rule, you were encouraged not to pick one of the big ones. You know, pick a small one. Come on,
Yeah.
save the big stuff
Yeah,
for tomorrow.
yeah.
The other family tradition was Dad blinding us with those lights on the Bell and Howell 8mm. I mean, it's like you're on the surface of the sun to take those Christmas morning
home movies.
Home movies. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to need you to clarify there. People that watch the video of this are going to see me open-mouthed and blankly looking at
Oh,
Susan.
no. Well,
I
you're
did
not
not
old enough.
know what you were
You're not old enough to
talking
remember when you were going to do 8mm movies back in the old days. You needed a lot of light. And,
Okay.
My dad had every photography gadget.
Do you
there
still
was.
have
Anyway.
those movies?
Yeah, somewhere. I think we transferred them to tape.
Gotta put 'em up
That
on the
is
website.
cool. Yeah.
But,
Find those.
Yeah, and then we had a big meal that day. It was usually later in the afternoon, but and it was usually turkey for us.
What about you for your family now? What do you guys do?
Mimosas is pretty much well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's changed a little bit. Yeah. We sort of carried those on, to be honest. You had stuff under the tree, and you had stuff that's supposed to,
Yes,
yeah,
that
definitely
Santa brings.
that Santa brought, and
Family show.
I think every family must do that. And but yeah, we become the mimosa witnesses on Christmas morning now. So
I kind of like that idea
yeah,
of jotting
yeah.
notes down here.
so
So Frank,
yeah.
is Frank on?
Here I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I warned Frank that I asked Frank in prep for the show, do you have any holiday traditions? And you said
No.
no. I asked if he visited his mom every year for Christmas, and Frank, you said,
Yes.
I think that counts as a tradition.
I think
You
so,
go
too.
and visit your mom in
And you
Chicago.
put up 2 trees.
And then he drives up north and visits his aunt in Lake Geneva. Like,
Yes.
that is, to me, that's a tradition. And then Frank said, say what you said that I said I wanted to talk about, please. sir.
Tradition
That there is no such thing.
as new traditions. There's not.
And I beg to differ. And I would
The-
love
the-
to hear what you guys think because, for example, my husband and I, when we got married, we started the new tradition of going and cutting down our Christmas tree every year together. I think that that's a new tradition.
The definition of tradition is customs or beliefs
Oh, he
from
prepared.
generation to generation.
Frank has Google.
Yeah,
Yes.
he prepared. I
So-
am so excited about
So
that effort.
a generation lasts 20 years.
But it has to
But it
start
ha-
somewhere.
Right? And
Right,
so,
so-
my kids,
but-
if they
but-
start cutting down a tree, like, and they go with us, right? It started just my husband and I, but now our kids, and we've been doing it for 15 years. So I got to wait another 5 years before I can call it a tradition.
I would call it 20.
20 more years?
Whoa.
20 years.
So-
that is a tradition.
So we've been doing it for 15 years. So I am not allowed to call it a tradition for 5 more years. I guess I can live with that. I can live with that.
Kath, for
Right.
you, because
I think
you're
Frank's being a little
you're
harsh.
awesome, we'll go with 15.
Yes.
But it's not 1. Just because you start
I
something,
agree.
just
I
because
agree.
you start something doesn't mean, oh, it's a new tradition.
I agree.
Because you
So
don't
when
know
your
what you're
children
doing
do it with their children, then it'll be a tradition,
Exactly.
according to Frank.
generation to generation.
I can see
He's
why
getting
one.
stuck in semantics.
Yeah,
but I
but I
understand what
agree.
you're
I
saying.
can agree. If you've only done it 1 or 2 times in a row, I would agree that it is not valid to call it a tradition. But I would say once you've done something, I'm going to throw out 5 years. I think once you've done something 5 years in a row, I think it is valid to call it a tradition. But I understand, Frank, and I do concede to your point, like a little bit. And you can feel free to save this moment forever. and
Okay, well,
bring
then the tradition I've had for the last 5 years, I have not ended up in a snowbank over Christmas.
See, look, that's good.
That's 5 years in a row.
That's good. And I hope that it continues for 5 more.
Ooh,
That would be great. That would be good. So I, of course,
you're asking a lot there.
I know. I did some research, of course, and according to scientificamerica.com, whatever the ritual is and however small it may seem, it has been scientifically proven that it helps people to truly get closer to one another. And some rituals, we may not even know why we do them, but it still works to bring your family together. And I thought that was cool that it is scientifically proven that having traditions and rituals actually does bring people together. And it does not matter what type of ritual it is or how big it is just a fact that you do it over and over again. It will bring your family closer together.
Oh.
I thought that was neat and heartwarming.
I happened to attend I grew up next to a family in Chicago that had 13 kids.
Were they Catholic?
Yes.
Just going to throw that guess out there.
So,
We're breeders.
so by now,
It used to be a family show.
the party of 13 kids
Well, you
now,
started the pickle thing.
Yeah,
Come on.
stop it.
13 kids by kids and grandkids and grandkids. The last one I went to, we counted, I think there were 84 people there.
Holy
How cool is that?
cow.
Like,
Well,
seriously.
So,
Man's
so
a
this is
mathematician.
a secret between me and you. For this party, 2 of the last 4 years, I have been Santa.
Oh,
Oh.
fun. You've been a Santa helper helping Santa.
So you
Huh.
give out these little gifts to all these kids, you know, and
Yeah.
first they ring the doorbell.
Oh,
you know, here's
my
Frank. They go,
gosh.
Frank, get outside. I'm like, why? It's cold.
In
No,
Chicago.
Frank, just go outside, and we're gonna ring the bell, and then we're gonna announce to the kids that Santa's here, and ho ho ho. Well, one year, you know, I sit there, and that suit is hot.
Like, seriously,
in
Frank,
the-
I did not think it was possible for me to love you more, but like that is so darn wonderful
And the
of
beard
you.
is itchy.
Aw.
So I give all these presents out to, you know, like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and everything else. And then one girl comes, so I take the suit off, and I'm going to go have a beer. And this one girl, she's probably about 6 years old. She goes, "You were Santa." I go, "No, I wasn't." She goes, "Yes, you were." I go, "No, I wasn't." Santa, he's over at the house across the street right now. I'll show you.
Oh.
She goes, "Look, I saw your shoes." And she goes, I looked at him. I go, "Well, Santa and me have the same shoes."
It is highly plausible.
She goes, "You were Santa." I go, "Okay."
Oh.
The 6-year-old busted me.
Oh.
Why,
well,
Scrooge has
yeah, darn it.
changed.
Anyhow.
It's a Christmas miracle.
So that is so sweet that you do that. Like, seriously, Frank, that is wonderful that you do that. We actually, a tradition, and we've done it for 10 years now. So a half tradition, we'll call it, is we do a cookie party at our house. And instead of baking cookies and trying to hand them out to all of our friends, we invite all of them to come to our house on a Sunday evening just for a couple hours so it's not overwhelming. And everyone brings 3 dozen cookies in an empty container. We throw everything out.
it's the
spread
exchange.
across.
Yeah.
Spread everything out. And then you take home whatever cookies you want. And we have hot cocoa. One of my friends makes Mexican hot cocoa, so it has chili in it, like chili powder. And yeah, I know you would not think, but it's phenomenal. And Santa Claus always comes and brings candy canes and a gold dollar coin and reads the Polar Express to the kids. And it's always so fun because I have some friends that have children with special needs. So this is an opportunity for their child to be with Santa and have the Santa experience, but it's not overwhelming,
Right.
like at the mall. So it's so wonderful, and Santa's helper that does that for us is phenomenal. And it's just
That's a
such a
great
blessing.
idea.
So I know that it makes, Frank, just so you know, it makes a big difference, and it's a wonderful experience. It's something my kids look forward to every year. Speaking of that, milk and cookies for Santa, do you guys leave them out?
Absolutely.
Susan, you leave milk and cookies out. Do you make the
Absolutely.
cookies? Is that part of your
Yep.
thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Roger? Did you guys
Yeah,
leave milk
Pretty
and
much.
cookies out?
Oh, yeah.
Or does he get mimosas?
Well, now he does.
We
In the old days,
still
yeah,
leave
milk
out-
and cookies.
So I have a funny story that I hope does not bring DFS to my door. So we always, you
I
have to
don't
tell
even
me if
guess
we're
what
getting ready for break too, Susan. So
Hello, police.
yeah, hello, please. Yeah, she's lifting the phone up.
Oh.
So we have the night before we go to Christmas Eve Mass, and we come home and have chili and homemade cinnamon rolls. And the cinnamon rolls, then the leftovers are breakfast the next day because, of course, we have the presents open before the sun's even up because my kids are up at like
Yeah.
4:30 in the
Sure.
morning. It is insane and fun and terrible at the same time. So before we go to bed, we decorate gingerbread cookies for Santa, and they get to eat one, and then they leave one out for him. And it is Wyoming and usually pretty frosty on Christmas. So instead of milk, we leave whiskey.
Well,
for
there you
Santa.
are.
To
Bada
help,
bing,
to help,
fireball,
yes,
yes.
to help warm him up. So
And
last
Santa
year,
came up with that idea himself, actually. And,
so
ended up in
honey,
bed
how
now.
about a little
well, and
blackjack?
it's hilarious
yeah.
because, of course, we take a picture and I post it on social media, and people are always like, "Wait, what is that in the glass?" So last year we thought we would give him a choice, and we had a shot of Patron and a shot of whiskey for him so he could choose. And when we woke up the next morning,